Okay, so now we're going to talk about articulation. This is very important.
Big words, I swear.
How do you spell articulation?
Articulation.
Articulation. Okay? So here, articulation is not a rhythm, okay? But this is important because this tells you whether you play an accent, or whether you play a flam, or whether you play a diddle, or a roll. So let's take just a regular note. What kind of note is this?
Quarter note.
It's a quarter note. Now if I take a quarter note and I do this to it, what do we do?
Play it louder.
You play that louder. Now, personally, when I'm writing drumline music, I like to write this stuff up on top. I just feel like it's easier to read. But it could be on the bottom. So that's an accent. You play it louder. So if that's an accent and you play it louder, what do you do with a note that looks like that?
You would play it normally.
Play it softer, right? Than
Softer,
the accent.
softer than the accent.
Yeah, softer than the accent.
Medium.
Yeah, something softer than the accent. Okay, now if I do this,
Super soft.
what do I do with that? Does
Quiet.
anybody know? Now DJ, you've seen this before in music.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have. That's when you see a diddle, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for instance, if I wrote that, instead of playing right, left, when you add that slash, it means right, right, left. And if these are eighth notes, and I'm asking you to play another note here, what kind of note is that actually?
Eighth note. Chord accent. I mean,
Two flags.
16th note.
16th note, okay? But, so basically, that slash is kind of a shorthand way of writing a 16th note, in this case. Okay, but I'm going to take that away. So anytime you see a slash, it doubles the note. You play two notes instead of one. So for instance, if I put an accent on here, and I put a slash in there, what am I doing?
you would play it louder. Play it louder with a pair of diddle.
Yeah, so it would be like two loud notes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. If I put a dot on the note,
Softer.
that actually means staccato. And in drumming, that can be interpreted a few different ways, but what staccato means is you're going to play the note short. So for instance, let's say you're playing like a big boomy bass drum. If you got a regular note there, you're going to hit it and let it go boom. But if you have a dot there, you're going to hit it, and what are you going to do to it?
Keep the stick on it.
You can keep the stick on it, you can muffle it with your other hand, you just want the note to be short. That's what staccato means.
Make it fast and soft.
Okay, what about that? What's that?
Oh.
What do you think it
I've
is?
seen that like as a flam, but
Yeah, that is a
it's
flam.
but
Yeah.
the little line, does that mean like?
You know what? I don't think that line should be there. So that's
What's
a
a
flam.
flam?
That's a flam. Okay. That's a flam. And let's say if we did it as a right-handed flam, it would look like that. Okay. Now what if I did this?
You'd be do this with a quarter accent. So.
Yeah, and that's a drag. That would be a drag or a rough. Was specifically two notes. Now, if I added a third note, that would be specifically three notes. Okay. So those are some drags. What does that mean?
I thought it was like a rest.
When you have a bunch of slashes, and actually, I probably shouldn't use squiggly lines. I should actually make slashes. When you have a bunch of slashes, that means you're doing some sort of roll. And what that means is you're doing the roll starting here and ending there, wherever that is. And in this case, it's one, and it stops on the and. So, I'm not saying whether you're playing a 5-stroke roll or a 7-stroke roll or whatever. I'm saying that the roll starts at beat 1 and it ends on the and of beat 1. Now, if I do this and I use a quarter note to play a roll,
Nice. Yeah.
where does it stop?
On there. On the end.
What? Not on the end if I'm using a quarter note.
Oh, E and
It's not an E.
No, two.
Two.
Okay, so.
Because, like, I could just write this and you have two notes, 1, 2. But if I did this, it would be roll 2, is what that would be. Okay, so those are going to be some of your more common articulations. So if you think about this, think about your quarter notes, think about your eighth notes, think about your 16th notes. You can see any of these articulations on there, and it tells you how to play that stuff. So if you see a bunch of 16 notes with accents on it, it's going to be a bunch of loud notes. If you see a bunch of quarter notes with flams on it, you're going to be playing a bunch of slow flams. Any questions about articulation? There's other ones out there, but I'm trying to just give you the more common ones. All right? Good.